Hello students, today we shall study about states of matter. States of matter. We all know that matter is made up of three states. We learn it right from 6th standard: solids, liquids and gases. So these are the three states of matter which we learn in school level. Okay, now in the three states of matter, how are the properties different from each other? Solids, liquids and gases. First we will study about that. What is a solid and why is it a solid? For example, let me take this duster. This duster is a solid, right? So, what is the property of a solid? See, in solid, every matter is made up of atoms or molecules. Generally, we can call it as particles, right? So, they are made up of particles, okay? Different particles, right? Now, in solid, we can say, if I take this as the wooden block, I take it, and it is made up of wooden particles, right, or wooden molecules, okay. So you'll find that the atoms or molecules are closely packed. The atoms or molecules are closely packed. So as they are closely packed, do they have a chance to move? No, they cannot move from their position. Their positions are fixed. So, let me draw a little bit more of this and show you, right? And I have taken a solid here and the molecules are being tightly packed. The words we are using, you learn them. The molecules are tightly packed, okay, are closely packed. So, they cannot move from its position. But what they can do, of course, they can vibrate in its position little, a very little, right? See, it is like this, a little bit it can move here and here, a small vibration or oscillation it can do. But it cannot move from its position. From here it cannot go here. In solid it is not possible. Now, in terms of intermolecular forces, I use the word here intermolecular forces, right? See, the intermolecular forces, there is a force between the molecules, or also you can call it interatomic forces, right? The interatomic, between the atoms or between the molecules, there is a force of attraction. And in this case, the force of attraction is more. Since the force of attraction is more, they are tightly held together. Because of that, they have a property called rigidity. They are rigid. Now, what do you mean by rigid? Rigid means when I am fixed to this body, right? I am fixing it, base, and I apply a force. It is not deforming. It is not changing its shape. In such cases, we say the object is rigid. A rigid body will not change its shape so easily. Change shape, or it will not deform so easily. So these are the basic characteristics of a solid. For example, you can take a copper wire. In a copper wire, if I take this is a piece of copper wire and it is made up of copper atoms, the copper atoms are closely packed. The interatomic force is so much high. There is no space there between one and the other, and it is rigid. Yes, it is very rigid. And it cannot be deformed so easily. So, these are the possibilities for a solid. Okay. Now, this is the basic of, I am teaching you the basic of the states of matter. First one, we learnt about solid. Now we move on to liquid, right? So liquids, what characteristic it is going to have? Liquids. Okay. A liquid, for example, I think I have the same beaker of water. Yes, water is a liquid. But what is it is made up of? Water molecules. What are water molecules? Nothing but, you all learnt it, H2O. H2O. Okay, hydrogen and oxygen atoms or molecules are joined together and this molecule is formed. So when I take a beaker and put water in this and I assume as if the molecules are like this, right? Yes, it's an assumption. Nobody has seen an atom or molecule. You need a electron microscope. With that you can learn about the structure of atoms. Right. Now in this case, when you have the molecules, molecules are not tightly bound. As much as it is tightly bound in a solid, in liquid, the molecules are not tightly bound. Because the intermolecular force is not so much. And there is a intermolecular space is there. Between one molecule and another molecule, there is a space is there. So keeping these things in mind, we can say that then what is the property of the liquid? So it is not rigid. When it is not rigid, we studied, they are not so tightly packed and intermolecular forces are not so high and there is an intermolecular space and they are not rigid. If they are not rigid, the molecules are more free, then the molecules have the tendency to flow. Yes, let me drop it here, right? And you see it is flowing, the flowing of water, it flows. Because in a solid, I can't allow it. The molecules, the atoms cannot fall down because it is rigid. But in the case of liquid, they can flow easily, right? So this is the next character, flow. It can flow. A liquid can flow. Now what about its shape then? It takes the shape of its container. Suppose the same water, if I keep it in a flask like this, let us say, right, a pot or flask, something like this, right, you will find that it will take this shape, right. The volume is same, the amount of water is same. If I take 1 liter, the volume, the same 1 liter is there, no doubt about that, okay, 1 liter is there, but it is having a different shape, right? The shape is like this and the shape is something like this. So it takes the shape of its container, the vessel in which it is placed. I hope you understand this now, and we move to the next state of matter, which is gases, right? So we learned already about solids and liquids, and it should not be difficult for you to know what the characteristic property of gases. In gases, you'll find that the molecules, here I am in this room and I got air molecules are there, gas is there, and you find that the molecules are fully free, like children in a football ground. Children in a football ground, you see, they are like liquid molecules, right? They are free to move and they are within the boundary. Yeah, they are a little bit free. But a solid molecule is like sitting in a classroom. You all are having fixed position. Maybe you can turn little like this, or you can turn like this, or that much only you can do. Solid molecules are like you are sitting in a classroom when teacher is there, right? When teacher is not there, you turn to be liquid molecules. And even sometimes it turns to be gas molecules. Gas molecules are fully free, full freedom, right? You go for a hiking or something, or where you go to a city, for example, you move here and there, right? The gas molecules are fully free to move. They are far apart. They are far apart, because intermolecular forces or interdynamic forces are very, very less, the least value. So this you have to understand. So it will not. Now what about flowing? It can flow anywhere. See, for example, then what about its shape? Again, if I confine this into a balloon, right, and it will be inside the balloon the same three molecules, right? So it does not have a definite shape and definite size, and the volume is only within the given structure that we have to consider. Okay, so with these basic properties of solids, liquids and gases, we will move to the most important concept of changes of states of matter. Dear students, I want to tell you, there is no perfect demarcation of matter in physics or in chemistry. They belong to physics and chemistry in generally physical sciences, right? So don't worry, it is in 6th, 7th standard and all, it will be in physics. And 9th, 8th, 10th standard, it will somewhere again in physics and chemistry. And again when you come to 11th standard, it is in chemistry. So what is more important is concepts. What I am teaching you is the concept. Develop the concepts, then you can use it for all the subjects. Now, states of matter we already studied. Now I am going to talk about changes of states of matter. Right, changes of states of matter. What changes can be there? One is a solid can turn to a liquid, right? And a liquid can turn into a gas. So this is the possibility. Solid into liquid into gas, or the reverse process, right? A gas can turn into liquid, a liquid can turn into solid. This is the possibility. Now we will take a simplest example, that is water. Water is in the state of liquid state, right? Now what I am going to do, water's other form in solid is ice. And the water, the same thing, it becomes steam or water vapor, you can say. Okay, both are agreeable. Fine. Now, how a solid will become a liquid and a liquid will become a gas? This is the study which we are going to do now. Solid to liquid. For example, ice is going to become water. Where do you see ice? Where do you find? In your refrigerator? You keep it in the freezer. The water is frozen. That means the water molecules are coming close together and they have formed ice, right? And it has come close together, right? And it has come here, and this is called freezing. The process of a liquid becoming a solid, this process is called freezing. When freezing will take place? I take a tray of water. Let us take the same example. I take this beaker of water and I place it inside the freezer. And when I keep it in the freezer, after 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, when I take it out, it becomes a solid ice. Why? Inside the freezer, the temperature is less, minus 10 degrees Celsius. So the water molecules get frozen, they come closer together, the intermolecular forces becomes less and they become tightly packed and they become ice. That means the process is called cooling. When I cool this, yes, when I cool this, the cooling has produced a liquid into a solid. Whereas in the case of a liquid, you find that it is something like this. Okay, I will draw a beaker and I will draw water in this. Okay, the molecules are a little bit far apart. Okay, and they come together and becomes a solid. Okay, so this is what I am saying, the first part. Okay, the moment I take the ice out of the freezer and keep it for some time, what actually happens? It comes to room temperature. Inside the freezer, it was at minus 10 degrees Celsius. When it comes out, the atmospheric temperature is maybe around 22 degree, 25 degree, 30 degree. In summer it is 30 degree. This heat will start melting the ice. When it melts the ice from solid form will become liquid. So on heating, and this process is called melting. In melting, we are going to heat actually. We need not necessarily keep the ice and heat it. Just the atmospheric temperature, the normal room temperature will melt, and the molecules which became tight will become loose. So solid to liquid is melting during heating process, and liquid to solid is freezing, and the process is cooling. Now you come to liquid, and I am going to do again, I am going to heat this liquid. I will put a small triangle, which means it is heating. Now when I heat this, right, and you will find that I will keep the beaker here, and you will find that it will slowly, steam will start coming out. Okay, steam will come, right, and it will go into water vapor. Fine. Now on heating, and this process, that means this process is called vaporization. Okay, vaporization. Vaporization is the process in which a liquid on heating becomes a gas, a gaseous state. Fine. That means the molecules are becoming more free because you are giving energy, heat energy. It cannot withstand. When you feel more hot, what do? You want to move out, right? Or you want to put fan, or you want to put AC. If electricity is not there, you want to go out and stand in the below the tree or something like that. Like that, here the molecules get heated up and they move into the next state, that is called steam, and then water vapor. Okay, now what I am going to do? I am going to place a lid on that, right? I am going to place a lid, and when I place the lid and I switch it off and I am not heating it anymore, the steam is coming up like this, right? And if I take this after 1 minute or 2 minutes, I will find on the lid, okay, the lower part of it, you will find tiny water particles. Tiny water particles. Now why is it like that? Because here the steam went up here and you stopped heating and it cooled down. When it cooled down, it became again water. It came back to the liquid state, and you see here, on cooling, the gas will become a liquid, and that is called condensation. Condensation. Condensation is the process in which a gas will become a liquid. That is because of cooling. So, let me revise again. A liquid into gas is through vaporization and on heating, and a gas into liquid is through condensation, is on cooling, and the steam becomes water in this case. So this is the whole process, right? This is the whole process. But you need to learn two more important points. One is the melting will take place at only a particular temperature, and that is for each substance it is different, and that is called melting point. For example, water 0 degrees Celsius is the melting point at which it will become a liquid. And similarly, in the case of vaporization, the vaporization is of two parts. One is called boiling, right? And boiling, what will happen? Boiling, all the molecules will get heated, right? All the molecules will get heated, and throughout the liquid it will get heated, right? And that time it will reach a particular temperature, and that temperature is called boiling point, right? At the boiling point only the liquid will become a gas, and for water it is 100 degrees Celsius. Not before 99 degrees Celsius it cannot become steam. 101 degrees Celsius it cannot reach, for water I mean, right? So boiling point is the fixed temperature at which the liquid changes into gas. And a melting point is the fixed temperature at which a solid turns into a liquid. And the vaporization can be of two types. One is boiling and another is called evaporation. See here, evaporation, for example, I have a lake here. In the lake, water is there and sunlight is hitting, fine. You learned about water cycle. The sunlight is hitting. When sunlight is hitting, what will happen? The water molecules in the surface, only the surface, the heat will produce and that will turn into vapor. Okay, and this is only surface phenomena, not the molecules inside water is not involved. They are not involved. Only the surface molecules are involved, and it can take place at any temperature, right? Little. Whereas boiling takes place throughout the liquid, and it takes place at a particular temperature for a particular liquid, and that is called boiling point. I hope you understand. As I said to you, dear students, the states of matter is a common topic for both physics and chemistry. So do not worry. This video can hold good for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. But the concept is more important. I hope you would have understood the concept, and in the next video I will teach you more about the states of matter. Thank you so much.